Queen Sheba, who is covering the Karmelo Anthony trial, has been in the court almost every single day, stated that she saw with her own eyes Austin Metcalf's father, Mr. Metcalf, directing a witness that was on the stand what he was to answer as he was being questioned. She said she saw that the witness was directly looking at Jeff, never turning his head away from Jeff. And when he was asked a question, she would look at the father and he would either say yes by nodding or no. And then she would look at the witness and the witness would either say yes or no, depending on what head nod Jeff Metcalf made. That's crazy.
I saw it with my own eyes. And one particular question was, would you say Hunter Metcalf is a big guy? And as I was trying to lean back to get a better angle of the jury, you know, you lean your head back, but I'm turning. I saw Mr. Metcalf shake his head no, and the witness said no. I saw Mr. Metcalf instructing the witness. I saw it with my own eyes, and I didn't want to take notes. So you're not going to get that from me, because I like to take notes when I'm watching the witness, and I know it's their response, because otherwise it doesn't matter. And I just stopped taking notes. Okay, he's here now. He's just going to tell his story. It was so obvious that this witness was looking.
They compared it to a team bench in other sports, and he told jurors, quote, "You just don't go into someone else's tent uninvited."
Yes, one person covering this topic was attacked by black women. If you take a look at the tweet, black women call me disgusting after my reaction to Karmelo Anthony supporters saying they would defend him regardless of the facts. I get told I should not criticize black people because I'm black. See with how strange that is. The same person calling me a sellout just handed me a set of required opinion based on nothing but my skin color and then called me the problem. The bottom line is not the skin color. That is the problem. It is the culture. This is what they do every single time. If you stand up for the truth that go contrary to this issue of skin color, immediately they start attacking you. And this is actually, it should not be happening. In 2026, I don't want to be saying things like this. It is embarrassing to see someone saying the truth, then refusing to accept it. This whole Karmelo Anthony case is revolving around race. I just want to plead with them. If the outcome is that this guy is guilty, they should accept it and move on.
The state has now rested in the trial against Karmelo Anthony after calling 21 witnesses. Before we do this recap, I want to be very clear that this is not me giving an opinion on guilt or innocence. This is a recap on the evidence and testimony presented in the state's case. Once the defense has rested, I will also recap their case. Karmelo Anthony is charged with Austin Metcalf. Austin died on April 2nd, 2025 during a high school track meet at Kirkendall Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Austin was a student of Memorial High School and Karmelo was a student of Centennial High School. The state's theory is that this was murder, not self-defense. Prosecutors argued that during the rain delay, student athletes were under team tents and Karmelo Anthony was under the Memorial team tent even though he was not a Memorial student. According to the state, multiple Memorial students asked Anthony to leave that tent area and the situation escalated after Austin also asked him to leave. Several student witnesses testified about what they saw under or near that tent. Some testified that Anthony was asked to leave multiple times.
The center of the prosecution's case right now are these students that were under the tent. They saw the sting and the moments leading up to it. More than 10 of these students testified that Austin Metcalf repeatedly asked Anthony to leave. Several recalled Anthony responding, "Touch me and find out." Now, jurors also heard that Metcalf made the first physical contact, but witnesses described it as minor. One called it a soft touch, another described it as a little push. They testified that moments later, Anthony pulled out a 5-inch folding knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. The defense argues Anthony acted out of self-defense and fear. Now, one of the key witnesses today was a 17-year-old teammate of Metcalf's who was under the tent. He testified that Metcalf tried to avoid a fight, telling Anthony, quote, "Dude, I'm not going to fight you at a track meet." Now, jurors also heard from an 18-year-old witness today. This is important testimony because he knew both Anthony and Metcalf, and he was the student who Anthony was apparently saying hi to. He testified when Austin asked him to leave, quote, "Karmelo said you'll have to move me." Austin put his hand on his back. I saw Karmelo's hand go in the backpack. We're at a track meet. I wouldn't expect anything to be in there, Karmelo said. Touch me, you'll have to move me and find out.
This is about race, because if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't give a damn.
Wow, those were the chaotic scenes outside of a Texas courthouse this week. Trial of Karmelo Anthony. Hello, everyone. This is the second hour of the big weekend show. It is day 3 of the trial of Karmelo Anthony, and he's accused of first-degree.
Karmelo Anthony supporters, you all need to do the right thing for once. If the evidence shows he is guilty, own it. Stop turning every self-defense case into a racial martyrdom narrative. No demonstrations, no most peaceful looting, no excuses. A kid is gone. Facts over feelings. If the jury says guilty, respect the verdict like everyone else has to. The pattern of rape and destructions when the outcome isn't what you want has to end. Yes, I know the outcome, how these people will react. I just want to plead with them to, exercise, accept the verdict of what will come out of this, because this is something we should not be catching feelings over what just happened. I don't want to hear about self-defense. If I get this, if this guy was alive, yeah, we can have this conversation. Even having this conversation to me feel uncomfortable.
And as the defense is asking him questions, I see Mr. Metcalf signaling him how to answer with head nods, yes or no, based on the question. And at that point, I became so discouraged and I stopped taking note.
I'm outside of the Cullen County Criminal Courthouse for day 3 of testimony in Karmelo Anthony's trial.
You see that, I can only imagine what the family's feeling when they're looking at their now deceased son laying here. And I'm looking towards Karmelo Anthony's side of the courtroom. And, they're just taking it all in. It's a different kind of emotional reaction. It might not be as audible and visible because it's none of their people. Of course, Karmelo's sitting there facing, his liberty's at stake. He could go to jail for the rest of his life.
And so while I was still inside of the courtroom, the jury also heard testimony from 2 teens who were under the tent that fateful day.
Wrote down that I think it'll be interesting to see how the jury really processes that and how they understand.
Yes. There is something, I don't know if I should say it. If Karmelo Anthony loses this case, these people will burn down everywhere in Texas. That is just my observations, what I'm seeing. They are agitated for reasons I don't get. This is a case where we should not even be siding with someone like this. But because they are strong to create this narrative of self-defense, it is getting to a level that, in fact, it wants to repeat itself, like what we saw with George Floyd. That is exactly what I'm seeing on social media. Karmelo Anthony supporters are gearing up. Yes, for people who don't know, my YouTube channel is Omoge Vblog TV, and my real name is Ransom. That is the question I see every day. Please, what is your real name? I'm called Ransom. So if you meet me on the street, that is how you should call me. I don't want to prolong the video. And please stay through with me. I will continue to update you on this topic. And so the short clips you see at the end, that is for what you're going to do. You can always skip.
Supporting Spencer, talking about Steve Hilton as well. And it's surprising. So the ranks are breaking up because at a certain point, you're like, well, this is ridiculous.
Obviously got wanted 5 more months.
Ending up
for Los Angeles.
I had Spencer Pratt on my podcast the other day. I think.
So this is breaking news. Everyone that supports me is a Democrat.
Encouraging her fans not to vote for Pratt. For a fan.
Seen this city
just fall apart.
Mayorship, insurance companies, they don't have to pay for people to rebuild their homes.
Aaron Bass.
I just wanted to share how happy I am to be
The city councilwoman.
They said they can't just open up these cases with.
Can't keep streetlights on.
To the media, we do not care.
He's elitist in California. Now you realize people everywhere in America make fun of people.
And so this is my life.
You're talking about qualifications, right? Yeah. And the black community.
It's illegal.
Spencer Pratt, who's running for mayor of Los Angeles.
Able to. I know, but
Also, I have to say,
We don't even have the trust of our own people.
Remarkable what he's accomplished. I'm from California. I have family in LA.
Chelsea Handler, she's not a fan. Said me.
The only people that aren't are the socialists.
2010.